The Reserve Bank of India has released its latest monetary policy. This policy was closely watched because it is the first one after the union budget. Many people were expecting a cut in interest rates, especially because lower rates would reduce loan EMIs. The RBI has not reduced interest rates though. The main lending rate, called the repo rate, remains at 5.25%. The repo rate is the rate at which banks borrow money from the RBI. When this rate goes down, banks usually reduce loan interest rates for customers. When it stays the same, loan EMIs also usually remain unchanged. So why did the RBI keep rates unchanged? The RBI looks at two things before changing interest rates. One is how fast the economy is growing and the other is how expensive things are becoming, which is inflation. Right now, India's economy is doing reasonably well. The RBI believes that the country's income and production are growing at a healthy pace, so there is no urgent need to push growth further by cutting rates. At the same time, inflation is under control. Prices of daily use items are vegetables, pulses, and grains are mostly stable. Because both growth and prices are balanced, the RBI decided not to disturb the interest rate. This means that home loan, car loan, and personal loan EMIs are unlikely to fall immediately. However, some banks have still not fully passed on earlier rate reductions, so small adjustments may happen depending on the bank. The RBI has also warned that prices may rise slightly in the coming months, but not because of daily essentials. The main reason is the sharp increase in gold and silver prices. These metals are included while calculating inflation, and their recent price rise has pushed overall inflation numbers slightly upward. Apart from interest rates, the RBI announced several steps directly affecting bank customers. The RBI said it wants banking to be safer, simpler, and fairer, especially as digital transactions are increasing. To do this, the RBI will soon issue new rules in three areas. First, banks will be given clearer rules to stop misleading practices. Many people receive repeated calls for credit cards, loans, or insurance they did not ask for. The RBI plans to control this. Second, new rules will be issued for loan recovery. When borrowers face genuine problems like job loss or medical emergencies, recovery agents sometimes harass them. The RBI wants recovery to happen in a respectful and lawful way without intimidation. Third, the RBI plans to limit how much money a customer can lose if there is an unauthorized digital transaction. If fraud happens, there will be a clear limit on the amount a customer is responsible for. Losses beyond that limit will be handled by the bank. The RBI is also planning a compensation system for small digital frauds. If someone loses a small amount due to fraud, they may receive compensation of up to 25,000 rupees. This is especially important for people whom even a small loss causes serious financial stress. Another important step is Mission Saksham, aimed at improving urban cooperative banks. Many of these banks serve middle and lower income customers but lack proper training and systems. Under this mission, a large number of bank employees will receive training so that these banks can function more professionally and safely. Finally, the RBI mentioned that India's recent trade agreements with countries like the United States, European Union, New Zealand, and Oman are expected to help Indian businesses sell more goods abroad. This reduces dependence on any single country and supports long-term economic stability. Hence, interest rates remain unchanged, but the policy places strong emphasis on customer protection, control of digital fraud, and improving banking services. The policy signals stability, caution, and a gradual approach rather than sudden changes.